All right, so we're here with Week 11 picks. There's actually a couple interesting games this week that I was going through, and I'm like, okay, that could be interesting. This could be interesting. I feel like Miami, New York, or Miami and the Jets could go either way. Whatnot. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but and there's a couple other games. So first of all, we have Thursday night game tomorrow: New England versus Atlanta. Uh, I mean, one team blew out a team. The other team got blown out by a team. So the safe pick is Atlanta, or is the safe pick is New England. Uh, Maybe this is close. I don't know. I don't. I really don't know. Then New Orleans heads to Philly. I think I could kind of see this being a little bit of a trap game for New Orleans. I think they're a good team. Um, And there was that stupid roughing the passer, or was it roughing the passer? Or was it PI against the Titans last week? And that's pretty much the reason why the Titans won. um, but I think they're gonna play down to Philly, but I have them winning in Philly. I think it'll be interesting to see this team. Just we'll see. We'll see. Then Miami heads to the New Jersey to play the Jets. Um, God, I picked Miami just because on paper they're better, but just because they're better on paper doesn't necessarily this is gonna be a Miami win. So if the Jets win, I'm not shocked because I could honestly really see it happening. But I'm gonna go with Miami. Uh, yeah, because they just upset Baltimore last week. So why not? Let's. I picked against them last week. Let's see if I can pick them and they can actually win this week. Which is it's the Jets, but the Titans lost to the Jets and they're the number one seed in the AFC. So nothing is real anymore. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to pick these games anymore. Then Washington without Chase Young for the rest of the year, I believe. Um, I believe it was season-ending injury last week. Heads to Carolina. Cam Newton will be playing. I was shocked he played and he had 2 touchdowns uh, against the Cardinals. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Carolina. Um, the Washington defense looked good, better than what they have been over the past 10 weeks. But Carolina's defense, I feel like, is top 5. I would probably say top 5. I don't know if I would put them top 3 right now. But they're definitely top 5. I think I'd probably put them at 4 right now if I were ranking defenses. I feel like the Packers. I feel like you can definitively say the Titans and New England. I feel like are probably the 3 best defenses. Now that's not a knock in Carolina because 4th is still good. But I just don't know if I can put them in the top 3 defensive wise. Then we have an interesting game. Indy heads to Buffalo, and I am picking my first upset of the week. Indy is going to walk into Buffalo and beat the Bills with Jonathan Taylor running for 650 yards. Now, I guess you could put the Bills are probably a top 5 defense. So those are probably Carolina, Bills, Packers, New England, and Tennessee. Not in that order, but those are probably the top 5 defenses. I forgot to mention them before. So, but I'm interested to see how they do against a very good running back. They did okay to good against Derrick Henry. It was not enough to win them the game, mainly because Titans defense stepped up in the end and stopped Josh Allen short of the first down. But they did good against Derrick Henry. Or no, is that the game he got hurt? No, that was Indy. Sorry, never mind. That was Indy. So I'll be interested to see how they do against what will be the new top rusher in Jonathan Taylor this week. So I think it'll be a fun game. So that's my first upset. Obviously, you can see the second one, but we'll get there. We'll talk about that one. Then Detroit heads to Cleveland. One team just tied, caused their first tie of the season. The other team got blown out badly. Now, no Nick Chubb last week, which did hurt the Browns. But, Baker didn't have a good day. Now, I do think this is in Cleveland, so I do think Detroit will lose this game. I think Cleveland should rebound, help them try to get back into that fight for the AFC North. I mean, basically, all four teams can still get that top seed or that top spot in the AFC North. It's a dogfight. That's a real dogfight. I mean, Pittsburgh just beat Cleveland. Was it Cincinnati? I think both Cincinnati and Cleveland beat Baltimore. I think Cleveland and Baltimore have played already. Maybe not. No, I'm sorry. It was Pittsburgh beat Cleveland, Cincinnati beat Baltimore, and then the Browns beat Cincinnati. That's what it was. That's right. I don't think the Browns and the Ravens have played yet, if I remember correctly, this year. So it's a dogfight. That's the hardest division in the league right now. So this should be hopefully a bounce back game. Anything is possible in the NFL. Obviously, the Steelers just showed that last week in tying with the Detroit Lions. So then San Francisco heads to Jacksonville. God, San Francisco just dog-walked the Rams last week. And the Rams are on a bye this week. But they basically just dog-walked them and just beat them up badly. So I can see this either being a blowout 35-7 win, or this is going to be like a 13-10 win just because it's Jacksonville. And if Jacksonville can hold the Bills to 6 points, then somehow, some way, by the graces of the NFL God, somehow Jacksonville can hold San Francisco to 13, but they're still going to end up losing, I think. I don't know. I'm thinking San Francisco again. It's either going to be a blowout, it's going to be a low-scoring, tight game because it's Jacksonville. You can't have in between. You can't have a good game. They even almost came back against Indy last week, and if it wasn't for that blocked punt that was returned for a touchdown, they may have very well beaten Indy last week. So I don't know how to pick like Jacksonville, the Jets, these lower tier teams. I have no idea how to pick them because they're beating up some of these top tier teams, and they're almost beating, some teams that are looking to be a top tier team and looking to, do very good. And Jacksonville's like, okay, we're just going to stop it. Jets out here beating the number one AFC seed, what was that, week 4 or whatever. So we'll see what happens. San Francisco, good luck. Then Houston heads to Tennessee. This is the only game I am confident in this week. The Titans are the only team I'm confident in winning this week. I don't think Houston is like the Jags or the Jets or, I guess Atlanta could pull off an upset. So, really, I feel like Houston is just like, okay, we just don't care, and we're just going to lose. I think they still only have one win, I believe. So, I feel confident that the Titans can beat Houston. Now, with that being said, this is the divisional round, or not divisional round. This is a divisional game between these two teams. So you can throw that logic out the window, and this could easily end up in a Houston win just because it's a divisional game. So I feel confident that they can beat them. But with that being said, watch out, because divisional games, you can't predict anything. Just I said that with Cleveland and Cincinnati. I said I picked Cleveland a couple weeks ago, and I said Cincinnati could very well easily win. Or sorry, did I wait? No, I think I picked Cincinnati and said Cleveland could very well easily win, and they did. So, I'm confident in saying Tennessee. Sunday comes along, Houston could beat Tennessee. That's just how it is. That's just how the NFL is this week. Then, Minnesota hosts. I was going to say Minnesota's on the road, but Minnesota hosts Green Bay. This is round one. They play again here in, I think it's late December. Another divisional game. Rodgers coming off of 10 days of COVID. They beat up, well, really, A.J. Dillon beat up the Seahawks, putting up both touchdowns for the Packers, shutting them out. Defense shutting them out. And then Vikings just barely squeaked the win over the Chargers. Chargers last week. Again, it's a divisional game. This is in Minnesota. I'm picking Green Bay. But I don't know how to feel. Now, I think Bakhtiari could be back. I don't even know who Minnesota has out. We don't even know if Dalvin Cook's going to play with that whole thing going on right now. And if you have not heard, there's I'm not even gonna, I guess I'm not really going to talk about it here. But there's just a whole bunch of crap going on with him right now. So I don't know if he's going to get pulled from the league and say, hey, there's a lawsuit against you or what. Because I'm not going to get into it, but I don't really know if he's going to play. I'm stumbling because I don't know. This is one of those games where it's just like, a very good defense, but it's a divisional rival, and Minnesota knows us real well. So Minnesota could easily find a way to win. So I expect 2024 Packers win, a close one. If we blow them out and it's 24-0, hey, I'm gonna feel happy. But if it's a close game and we pull it out in the end, I'm gonna feel happy because we pulled it out in the end. So I don't know what to think about this. And it's gonna be interesting. Minnesota's had a lot of close games this year. Some they've won, some they lost. So it'll be interesting to see how they play against us this Sunday. Then Baltimore heads to Chicago. Now, Chicago's coming off a rest, coming off of a bye last week, who they still lost because the Packers broke the tie for most wins at home. So Bears still hate us a lot, even more because we just broke the tie for home wins. So they still lost on their bye week, but they're hosting Baltimore at home. So you have a chance to tie that back up. Now, Green Bay heads back home to verse the Rams next week, so we very well could easily go back and lead again. But if they lose at home, then we definitively stay at number one, at least for this week, and then we'll see about next week. But I'm picking Baltimore. I just feel like this is going to be an interesting game because the Ravens are coming off of, in my opinion, probably the worst game of their season this year. This is probably the worst. And Minnesota's coming off a bye. I still think that oh my God, Chicago is coming off a bye, and I still think that defense is good. So it's gonna be that Baltimore offense versus the Chicago defense here. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, Baltimore, Minnesota. Just if Chicago follows the Minnesota plan, they took them into OT. But you have another. Justin Fields can scramble, and he's not like Kirk Cousins that's going to stay in the pocket and just throw. Like Justin Fields may run a bit and pull some Lamar Jackson. So it's going to be harder. You have to contain them versus Kirk Cousins you didn't. So if you can follow the game plan of what Minnesota did against Baltimore, I think there's always a chance. Now Minnesota fell apart in the second half, so you hope that doesn't happen to you. But I just think Baltimore coming off of that loss to Miami. I know they had people out and injured and whatnot, but I feel like that's just gonna burn the fire, make it hotter, and they're gonna come out and want to just kill Chicago here after that disappointing game. So that's why I'm picking them. Then Cincinnati heads to the Raiders to face the Raiders in Las Vegas. Raiders just lost badly to the Chiefs last week on Sunday night. And then Cincinnati's coming off a bye, so I'm picking Cincinnati just because the Raiders, it's that time of year. just going down, just going down, all the way down. So they look like a playoff team first half. Going up like, oh my God, Raiders are so good, and then they hit the peak, and it's okay, well there they go, and they don't rebound. So that's why I'm picking Cincinnati here, because it's the Raiders' time of the year. So then Arizona heads to Seattle now. Seattle has a bye after this, and I saw someone say, I think it was actually Tony Romo during the game last week, or this past week against the Packers, say, would you just rest Wilson 1 week, and then, you get them fresh off the bye, which I thought, could be kind of interesting if they do, because Russ did not look 100% against the Packers. And I wonder how much he was, kind of pulling balls back and saying, I can't go deep right now. So now, obviously, it was cold. It was like 30-some degrees in Lambeau. So, you're in Seattle where it's probably going to be 50, 60, somewhere in there. So, temperature is going to be different. So, and that's going to affect your hands and whatnot, too. So, maybe you plan. I'm going to say they do. But, again, Tony Romo brought up a good point last week where it's like, you could just rest him, make sure he is 100%, give him 2 weeks. Just, Smith goes out there one more week, and it is what it is. Oh, my God. Choking on air. So I am picking Arizona. I expect Wilson to play, but again, if he does sit, I'm not going to be surprised because, he didn't look like Russell Wilson last week. Now, his legs did. Like, he was scrambling. I think he had, 35 yards or whatever scrambling. But, it's just throwing is interesting. So, I'm going with Arizona, despite Arizona. Who'd they just lose to? I am blanking. Who'd they play? Now I gotta. Carolina. Duh. I was like, I don't know why. God. But they did just lose to Carolina. So I expect them to come and rebound against a divisional rival. So, Seattle's defense is okay. Rodgers wasn't a healthy 100% either. So, yeah, I expect, the Kyler Murray-less Arizona Cardinals to play better next week after, pretty sound defeat against the Carolina Panthers last week. So, then we have, I should have made this game of the week. My bad. This is obviously, it'll be on Fox. It'll be I think it's on Fox this week. Because Seattle Green Bay was on CBS or game of the week last week. But Dallas, Kansas City, in Arrowhead, I am picking Kansas City just because last week against the Raiders, it felt like we finally saw that Chiefs offense that we've known and have known before. So I expect them to. I expect a shootout, honestly. Maybe, like 40-45 game or something like that. Like, I expect a high-scoring game between Dak and Mahomes. I expect a fun game. It'll be 3:25, so, prime slot there. So I expect to be high-scoring. I think defenses are going to struggle a little bit because, again, it looked like Mahomes started get into a rhythm again. They're number 1 in the West, in the AFC West. So, if they can start getting on a roll, you stay in that top 4 seeds, and then you're hosting at least one game. I don't think you're going to beat the Titans. I don't think you're going to get up there and beat the Bills, who they've already lost to. So I think that you're hoping for the 3 seed, and you're hoping the Titans and the Bills get knocked off either in the wild card or divisional round early on, and then you can host the championship game up there in Arrowhead. I think that's your best hope, is just hoping that, better teams get knocked out first before you do in the playoffs. But, I think it'll be fun. I expect this to, again, be game of the week. I expect Dallas to come out flying around too. So you just expect a high-scoring shootout game. That's what I'm expecting here. So then Sunday night, I feel like Pittsburgh, I think, was Bears Pittsburgh was that Monday? I think. Hasn't Pittsburgh had another Sunday night game before? I don't even know. It feels like they have. Probably because we just had Bears Pittsburgh. Was it 2 weeks ago? But it feels like they've already had a Sunday game and they're having another one. But they're heading to SoFi to face the Chargers. Chargers are not looking that good, but I only picked them because the Steelers tied with the Lions. That's the only reason I picked them at home. Steelers at home tied with the Lions. So that's the only reason. That's the only saving grace of why I picked the Chargers. If the Steelers had won last week, I would have picked them, but they tied the Lions. And then we got what I think will be the upset of the year. It's in Tampa. We are getting Giants, Bucks. We just had it last year, so we're getting it once again, following year. Last year, this ended, and it should have went to OT, but the refs did not throw a flag, despite the defender getting there split second early, and so he couldn't catch the ball. I think it was the running back couldn't catch the ball, so the Giants ended up losing by 2. It should have went to OT, should have, but it didn't. So the Bucks won by 2 points last year against the Giants. I'm expecting another close game. Probably like 28-26 or something like that. I expect like a 2-3 point game, like 25-28 or something like that. Some sort of, well, that's probably even too high. I'll say like 17-16 or something like that. Because I think like 28-26 is too high. I think that's too many points that the Giants just can't put up. Now, Vita Vea is out. And is Saquon back? I think he got injured again, and I don't think he came back. So this would be a prime time to have Saquon to be able to run the ball. But, the Giants played the Chiefs pretty well before their bye. So I think they can do decent against Tampa. And I'm picking them to upset the Tampa Bay Bucks on Monday Night Football. So those are my picks for Week 11. Again, tomorrow will be New England versus Atlanta. We'll see what happens. If Atlanta wins that game, my picks are probably all wrong for Sunday. For now, though, like the video, share the video around, don't forget to subscribe, and we are out of here. Peace.